see this in the mirror. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so pretty. Hey guys, Adam Savage here in my cave. I am in the middle of a costume fitting, or just at the end of the first part of a costume fitting. Do I need to tell you? Doctor Strange. I am wearing a magnificent Doctor Strange costume built by Chad Evett, who you might remember built the King George costume I bought to put with my crown. Chad, come here.
Yes, Adam.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Evett. Dude, this was your personal cosplay, Dr. Strange. I feel so honored to be its steward. Oh my God, this cloak, man. Can we talk about the cloak now? Can I talk about the cloak? Is that cool? Oh, yeah. All right. Dude, I've looked at so many pictures of this cloak, and seeing this one in person, I just had no idea. I don't know. I feel like I'm learning whole new things, even after weeks and weeks of staring at pictures of this thing and trying to surmise its construction.
It's a beast. There's no other word for it. It's the costume designer said that a morgue of fabric went into it, and she's right.
Wow. I mean, these watermarks, the patchwork, the shoulder, this brain work back here.
Thank you. We call it braining.
Really?
We literally call it braining because I couldn't think of anything else to call it, and my friend Stephanie called it braining, and it just stuck.
Because there is a type of fabric that looks like this that almost everyone uses in their clothes.
Yeah. But it's not the same because they don't make it. That's not something you can buy. It has to be made by you.
You made this.
I did.
You sewed each one?
Each one. So just for the folks at home,
Yeah.
this is 3 pieces done in a silk. And then over the top of it, this silk cording, I hand dyed myself, and then it's one continuous piece. It starts over here in the corner, and it comes all the way around, and it ends right underneath this brooch.
No way.
It's one piece.
What?
You can actually follow it because with very few exceptions in certain spots, it doesn't nip into any of the seams. It sits on top of everything. Wow. And it's done as one big applique that then sits on the back of it, and you go through and do it all by hand. It took about 45 hours to do that, just that.
Dude, like everything about it looks so beautiful. I'm so gobsmacked. Oh, Chad!
You're a wizard, Adam.
Oh, I'm almost a wizard. I'm literally gonna have to spend a few days wearing this just to feel like I understand its structure, because right now I just look like Adam Shop Guy wearing Doctor Strange's costume. But man, okay, tell me about these too, because
So these are impossible to find because, again, nobody makes them.
Yeah.
You can find them in plastic. You can find some facsimiles of them.
The real ones were etched brass, from what I could tell.
They're brass, and then they're flocked. So on the real ones, the red is flocked velvet that's pressed onto it.
No way.
The only reason why I didn't do it is because I don't live on a film set in controlled environments, so
Yes.
I can't always be upkeeping things like flocked velvet. So this is done in enamel. These were made by a gentleman on Instagram known as Tempered Props. His name is Andy Wise. He makes them for me. He's a mensch and a half. He makes some that go on with magnets. These he made custom for me. They bolt from the back.
Oh.
So if you were to, don't do it now,
Yeah.
but if you were to flip it over, you'll notice there's screws and washers holding these in place. And then what's really nice is because they are brass, they just patina and they dinge over time, and it looks ancient.
Yeah.
It becomes weathered naturally.
I also love, we covered some of this while we were putting it on, but you actually have a whole engineering solution for how the cape sits on
Yes.
me.
So the thing about the cape, God, I'm just giving away all of my secrets. So the way, all of you Doctor Strange cosplayers, please heed what I'm saying. Do not attach the cloak to your costume. If you attach the cloak to your costume, the costume's gonna pull and it warps the shape, and you're not gonna look like the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. So the way this attaches is the cloak has 2 straps behind the wings that go into buttonholes that are inside of the tunic. They crisscross across the chest and attach to his pants.
Amazing. Amazing.
So now all of the weight is distributed around your waist, and if someone steps on it or pulls on it, since the straps are wide whale
Does it
elastic,
make the whole thing go?
it bounces and pops back into shape, and it never rips.
Go ahead.
No, this has gotten stepped on, it's gotten pulled on by toddlers, it got stuck in a revolving door, it's been through hell, and it has survived because of the little engineering tricks that I painstakingly figured out. This is, I think, my 5th cape.
Is it your
The 5th one that cloak. It's a cloak.
Cloak.
This is my 5th cloak that I've made.
And whose signature is this?
So this is Benedict Cumberbatch is here right here. It's the
Oh,
really
yeah.
the really small one, and then this one's Kevin Feige. So
Lovely.
Yeah, so
that
it's
is awesome.
it's legit, as it were. It comes Marvel approved.
Wow. The patchwork on the inside is just so inspiring. This little, wait, where is it? Yeah, I love this little detail.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
little
yeah. So that's
stitches.
just like this little weird little kind of vaguely Egyptian stitch that my sewing machine does. And I thought it was a much more elegant way to attach the binding. So it starts off with that, turns into a zigzag, goes all the way around, and then it picks up again on the other side.
And so when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at like, that's one thing you had to find. That's another thing you had to find. That's a third thing you had to find.
Well, this is not trim. This leather trim is not trim that exists. This is trim that I had to make. This is leather that I got in downtown LA, which is very, very, very close to the same leather that Star-Lord's coat is made out of in Guardians, which felt like a nice Marvel connection. But it's individually cut with a little tiny pair of scissors that I went through and did completely by hand. So the whole thing was done by hand.
But is it like pattern scissors or scissors that cut up? No, you just literally did this.
It's scoops. That's the diameter of my middle fingernail.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm tired just looking at this.
Well, I mean, I spent a lot of time working on it. I went through a really nasty breakup and needed something to focus on, and it was the cloak.
Oh, I feel you on
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Absolutely. I also would love to point out that like I'm actively in the middle of a gig of a job here in the shop. So we've had to ask Brett Foxwell, my machinist, to pause on the machining he's doing on the mill here while we put this costume on. That's
Priorities,
my
Adam,
reality.
priorities.
This, I always felt like if I saw the real cape, I'd be so compelled by it as an object, and I feel like that.
It is. There's something visually appealing about it because it doesn't look like any other cloak that's ever existed, mainly because it's asymmetrical. It's got this lovely tailored shoulder, which took forever to figure out. There's a shoulder pad hidden inside of this to give it that shape. And whenever I make these for a client, I have to get a very precise measurement of the base of their neck to their shoulder, because if this does not fit their shoulder perfectly, it won't sit right.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, there's a weird amount of mechanics that have to go into making sure that it sits correctly.
Wow. Okay, tell me about this stuff going on. Did you also do all the belt work?
Yeah, so I made the belt. It's made out of a waxed leather that has other bits of leather on top of it. All of these lines I hand etched with a wood burner, because if I did it by machine, it would look too precise, and I wanted it to feel handmade.
Yeah.
So they're uneven and kind of all over the place. This is a hemp braid that I found. This is a leather braid that I found. I have a friend his name is Igor. He goes by Mr. Pinsky Props on Instagram. He printed me the belt rings because all the ones I found that were ready-made were the wrong diameter.
Yeah.
So I went to Comic-Con when the costume was on display and took measurements so that I could have it made in the correct diameter. But yeah, the whole thing, and then the sling ring is not detachable, but it sits there permanently so that if you need it, you have it.
Oh,
that's kind of the idea, because he has in the first one, he has a spare on his hip.
Oh.
Yeah,
but he doesn't need to use it because it's there.
Yeah, and he steals it from Caecilius when he traps him in the mirror dimension.
What hangs there?
Whatever you want. I have the yellow gloves from the comics. So whenever I do Strange, if I take the gloves off, I hang them off the front of the belt.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I those gloves are beautiful in the second. Is it Ragnarok? Yeah, he shows up in Ragnarok with the yellow gloves, and they're gorgeous.
I want them to come back.
Yeah,
actually.
Oh.
Chad. And the other cool thing about the belt is they never really explained what everything was in the movie. So I just thought it was kind of like the Meister's chains from Game of Thrones, that each link meant something. So each cord is another achievement working your way up to master.
Like Keith Richards' hair.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
I should have said Jack Sparrow's hair, but we all know what I mean.
Keith had the better wig with all the crosses in it. So
I'm gonna have to actually, I think, get a real wig for this one.
I have a girl who can do it. I'll send you her info.
I'll need that special curl.
Yes. I should have brought my wig with me. You could have put it on for funsies. I'm so sorry.
Oh man, this is so, Chad, this is just magnificent. Dudes, I wish you could see this in person. I will be wearing this at some point in 2022 to a con. And if it's the con you're at, you'll get to see it in person. What a magnificent thing. Dude, come here.
Embrace
This is the first time. We've been talking for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've actually met IRL.
Yeah, in person. I realized it on the way up. We were about an hour away, and I turned to Jordan and I was like, I don't think I've ever met him in person. And she was doing her makeup and she's like, you haven't. Because she takes better track of things than I do. I have one other little tidbit though that you'll get a kick out of. There is no wire in the collar.
What?
It's corset boning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the front is steel corset boning and then Ridgeline plastic in the back. So again,
Oh my God.
because if you put wire in something
Yeah,
and
it's
it gets
just gonna get bunched.
it gets all kinked up, but so I had to figure out a way to do it that wouldn't do that, so I put corset boning in it.
Especially because you and I have both built costumes where something was wired and we got it right once, and then it was
Once.
so hard to get it again.
Never works again,
Oh
yeah.
my God. That is awful.
So since we're talking about the collar, because I meant to mention this earlier, this is a silk velvet, which
Yeah.
was very difficult to find. The exterior is a waxed hemp braid that is all hand stitched. Wow. And then you can't tell, but because the collar is built in multiple pieces, on the inside it's suede. So the base is suede on the inside, like an
Oh,
ultra suede, and
Yeah.
then the collar silk sits on top of it.
Dude, Deuteronomy. All right. This is Adam Savage. I'm going to learn some spell casting, and I'll see you at the next con. Chad, you are a master.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. See you guys next time.
One of the things I love about this channel is that we don't make how-to videos so much as we make what happened videos. And what almost always happens are mistakes and screw-ups. In fact, they're completely integral to making and honestly to being a person. And to celebrate this, Tested has a new batch of demerit badges for the screw-ups you will encounter in the shop. From left to right, we have touching your paint job, assembling things backwards, losing a tiny screw or part, gluing your fingers together, and smashing your thumb. And frankly, if you haven't done both of these, even if you're not a maker, I just don't feel like you've experienced enough of the world. I'm not saying get out a hammer and smash your thumb, but I will tell you that the blacker your fingernail after the injury, the less it's gonna hurt in the long run. I almost forgot, these make excellent additions to your shop apron, and they are available at tested-store.com.